You are now tuned in to the Windy City Benders podcast. This is WCBP.
All right, it's another edition of the WCB podcast, a part of the Hockey Podcast Network, presented by DraftKings. It's Jarom, it's Tanner. What's up, bud?
Not much, man. Just get ready. Round 2. Let's go.
Playoff hockey, full effect. Been very entertaining, despite what we said last week. If you stuck through that episode and the shitty audio, I apologize for that. I don't know what happened. Literally haven't changed anything on the board, and apparently it sounds good. And I'm saying this before we even edit. So
just
hopefully
the cable's
it
loose or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot to kind of get into with the playoffs. What there's not a lot to do or not a lot to talk about is the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah.
I guess that's what happens when you suck and you don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, man. And also the season just is kind of finished there, so there's not much that's going to be happening right off the bat,
Real quick, I guess, that kind of just came to me. Is it concerning to you at all that it hasn't been kind of like announced, like, oh, we've sought permission to interview XYZ for coach? No, not yet.
No. I think that I think they're probably trying to figure out if they can get a first round pick right now.
That's true. Okay. And we'll get into that in a second here.
Or maybe they're taking a week or two off, just settle down.
You can't take a week off when you are dog shit hockey. You have to be working 24/7 because we need a Stanley Cup next year.
Yeah, true.
God, if that was the mentality going into this, that'd be fucking brutal. But yeah, so the really quick things, we were kind of hyping up Rockford last week, going into I guess it would be the semifinal for the Central Division in the AHL playoffs.
Round 2.
Yeah, round 2. It's weird how they do like divisional and all that. And they got swept by the Wolves. I don't even think it was close. Don't quote me on scores because I really didn't pay attention to it. We should probably be better with our AHL team, but it's kind of hard to get into it when there's no prospects.
There's Lucas.
Lucas Reichel, yeah. I guess if there's Lucas Reichel cam, that'd be different. And it's just like watching him the entire game. Maybe Soderblom too. Like just do cameras on those two guys the entire time.
Soderblom he doesn't get the juices going for me. He doesn't excite me.
He's not sexy. He's not a sexy goalie prospect. And what really pisses me off, and just a nice reminder of how close we were to having the goalie prospect I wanted, the guy from Nashville, I always forget his name. I wanted him so bad, and I don't remember his name.
Askarov.
Yes, he just signed his entry-level deal with...
Also, Wallstead just signed his entry-level deal with Minnesota. Like two great goalies that I wanted the Hawks to get, and they didn't get either because they didn't have a pick at that point.
Those are easily the 1-2 goalie prospects in the league right now, right?
Yes, out of the last couple of years. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else
coming up or.
Yeah, let me see. But yeah, go ahead though, because I think it was what, Puck Report on Instagram.
Yeah,
they had posted I think his name's Jesper Wallstead. It was like, oh, he signed his entry level deal. I was like, oh yeah, we didn't get that guy. That sucks. And then it was part of their story, and then 2 stories later, it was just like Yaroslav Askarov signs his entry level deal. I was like, oh fuck, man.
Minnesota, yeah, Minnesota's gonna have to lean a lot of entry level deals because they go into cap hell this year.
Yeah, it's the start, and it's not the worst part of it either.
Yeah. But yeah, so that happened. Rockford sucks.
Yeah, they lost 4-1. You said they got swept. It was a best of 5. So in game 3, they lost 4-1. They had lost the previous 2.
I think 4-something too. I think it was I don't think the games were close. If I remember, it's weird. I follow the Wolves on Instagram, but I don't follow the Rockford Ice Hawks.
Yeah, man. What's going on?
I don't know. The Wolves hooked us up. I don't see Rockford hooking us up.
I wish it was easier to navigate these fucking
the AHL website
AHL pages.
Sucks. It's so brutal.
So they lost 2-6 in game 1,
Jesus.
1-4 in game 2, and 1-4 in game 3.
Not great.
Woof.
Not great, especially after looking like a threat against Texas. The other main Hawks talk note I have is, I don't know if we mentioned this on the show, but the Blackhawks broke for the first time since like 1967 or something like that. The Blackhawks or like a team in the NHL, like 67 when the Buffalo Sabres came in the league, correct?
Okay.
That was
Yes.
when the year they came in. Yeah. That was the last time that an NHL team did not have a power play goal scored by a defenseman
Oh yeah, that's cool shit, isn't it?
until the 2022 Chicago Blackhawks.
Mm.
Why am I bringing this up now? Seth Jones, defenseman, Chicago Blackhawks, is playing for Team USA, Captain America. In his first game at the World Championship, scores a power play goal. And I think Sam Lafferty was like in front playing that Taves role, like
screen the goalie.
Yeah.
Banging the shit.
It's cool.
I mean,
So, it's just hilarious to me.
yeah.
82 games, you're going to do it, one game away from the Blackhawks system, and boom, you're doing it.
I mean, the power play is not set up to go basically through the defenseman.
I know.
It's really a Kane setup, and it's kind of like get the puck to DeBrincat.
Cross ice to brink it.
Or feed it down low and put it back to the middle. Like, it's not set up to have like point shots, really.
It's just insanity that 82 games and not one defenseman goal on the PK or power play.
On the power play, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
insane.
mean,
yeah,
it is kind of weird.
I mean, it's like I said, it's been how long? 67. So like it's been a while.
I just wanted to go back to the goalie thing. The only other goalie that's been drafted recently that who's actually drafted before Wallstead was Sebastian Cossa, and I think that he wasn't really the number one goalie prospect, but then he's drafted by Detroit. So I'm probably gonna trust Yzerman's judgment, and I'm gonna say he's gonna probably end up being like an insane fucking amazing goalie too. So it was like literally him, and then Wallstedt, and then Askarov for like the last 2 years, the 3 first-round goalies, and then the year before that was Spencer Knight. So like those are the kind of guys that you're going to be looking at in the future. First round, those are the first rounders.
Yeah, it could be a golden era for these young goalies too. So, I mean, it could be some good, exciting goalies.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Especially because we lost them all.
Yeah, they're in division. Like, oh god, no.
Yeah, that sucks. So then the last thing that we kind of have here, and we'll kind of transition to NHL talk with it because it goes with first round results. We had a lot riding on the team Minnesota. They needed to help us out a little bit to get a first round pick. And the Mild did what the Mild does, and they choke in the playoffs.
They decided to end their season early and go into cap hell.
Yeah. So they lost to St. Louis 4-2. Fleury didn't even get to play the last game, right? Was it the last 2 games?
Last game. I know that for sure, but I don't know. Wasn't following it because I was just like, how are they fucking this up?
Yeah. So Minnesota packs it up early. They screw us over, so we don't get a first round pick. They are now in cap hell, so it sucks to be them now. You'll love to see it against the Wild. The one time I cheered
13 million, almost, or just about 13 million in dead cap from the buyouts of Parise and Suter going into next season.
Like, what can they even do to like make that up?
I mean, I have no idea. Like right now, it says they have projected cap space of 7.3 million. But I don't know, man. Like, who are they losing? Or they have Kevin Fiala, who's going to be an RFA. He's making 5.1. It's like, all right, are you going to try and sign Kevin Fiala? Because then there goes your fucking cap space. Because then they don't, I don't know. They also have Nick Delorier's up. Nick Bukestad. Like,
I just can't wait for Catherine to
they don't
update.
have a backup goalie. I don't think they're going to be able to re-sign Marc-Andre Fleury.
Even though he
That's the
said he would
case.
definitely play there again.
Did he say that?
Yep. His
That's
exit interview, he said he would definitely consider playing in Minnesota.
that's crazy.
Which
I mean,
honestly,
he would have to be making like
league
way
minimum.
less. Yeah, not league min, but like
But I mean, pretty
not
close.
not 7 mil. I don't know. I just think it's funny. I like it. With it, it's so good. Yeah, man. Sucks to suck. Sucks to be Minnesota.
Yeah. So where do you want to? So besides Minnesota, St. Louis, where do you want to start?
Well, I just want to go just real quick with the draft too, because I was looking at that, and I thought it was really funny. If anybody looks at the way the draft breaks down, so the Hawks don't have a pick until 38th, and like pretty much every team has a pick before them, besides like most of the ones that are still in the playoffs. But the Arizona Coyotes have 5 picks in the draft before the Hawks draft once. And then they have an additional 2 picks before the Hawks make their second pick. So by the time the Hawks make their second draft pick in the second round at 56th overall, because that's Minnesota's, the Arizona Coyotes will have had fucking 7 draft picks.
That's stupid. They got
three in the first round and like 4 in the second.
Jesus. Then 1 in the third. And then 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Do you think we can get them to trade one of those first rounds?
I mean, only way we can do it is basically taking one of our picks and moving up and packaging it with a prospect that we don't know if is going to work out or not.
One of our many defensive prospects?
Maybe. Or like, I don't know. Like that's still not probably fair value to get a first.
Yeah. Oh my God. I saw too that I forgot who the writer was, but he was suggesting that the Blackhawks would be insane not to trade, reach out to New Jersey and offer DeBrincat for the second overall.
I think the Hawks would be insane to get rid of DeBrincat.
That's insanity to do that.
Yeah. But also only the second overall, I think would be.
It would have to be so much more.
Much, because like I don't think whoever is going second overall is going to end up being anything DeBrincat is.
No.
But I don't know, man. Like if you're, that's the other thing. It's like, okay, like you want to trade DeBrincat, great, and get second overall, cool. Well, guess what? I'm pretty sure Kaner's not going to fucking re-sign then.
Oh no, the second DeBrincat is off this team, and Kaner still has an option. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's pretty much said that without fully like. He's literally said it without saying in those exact words, but he
said that it will make his decision much easier if DeBrincat gets another contract. And it's like, I mean, if you want people to still go to the fucking games, man, like you should probably sign some guys. You don't want, like, Arizona's fine. They only have like a maximum of 4,500 people that can go to the games at this point coming up in this upcoming season. So if they're big ticket like guys, like, I mean, if they don't sell like or get Kessel back or whatever, and like they're selling a bunch of like of their space for picks, and they have 7 fucking picks before we have 2, and we're both a rebuilding kind of team, then I think they're doing a little bit better than we are.
I think
they don't have to worry about selling out stadiums.
I don't know if I've made this pitch yet on the show, but I think the Hawks need to sign Phil Kessel this offseason.
Okay.
I think
that'll help them out defensively.
No, like bring him up, get him in there,
get him a contract,
veteran presence for a 1-year deal
to trade at the deadline.
We get our Kessel Blackhawks jersey.
Yes.
We get to witness him breaking Keith Yandel's Iron Man streak.
Well, if he does come to the Hawks, does he wear 81? Do the Hawks let him wear 81?
Retiring it.
Yeah. Okay. So what does he wear?
26.
18? Wait, could he wear? I don't know. 18.
It would be 20. It would be probably 26.
26
It's what he wore at
Wisconsin
yeah,
or Minnesota or whatever
Minnesota.
it was.
Yeah, Minnesota, and I think Team USA, like when he was
Oh, okay.
underage.
I don't think he can wear some numbers.
You can't wear 18. You can't wear 81.
Yeah, can't wear 18, can't wear 81. Weird. That's cool.
You can wear 8. Fuck you, Kubalik. Can't wear 1.
Yikes. No. Yeah. Well, draft. Fun shit.
That's my pitch. Phil Kessel, Chicago Blackhawks. That's what the show is going to be about now. No.
Yeah, right. Kessel to Chicago.
But tell me that not get you a little bit like, you know what? I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would like it, and I don't think it's going to help defensively, which is fine. I don't care.
I just think that it gives him an opportunity to keep playing, and the upside is we get a draft pick for him at the deadline.
Yeah.
Downside is we get a year of Phil Kessel.
Downside is we get a year of Phil Kessel.
That's what I'm saying. Like if there's any downside to it, it's like it's a year of Phil
it's
Kessel.
only a year.
Yeah, we don't get. Yeah, there you go. It's only a year. But anyway, all right. So let's go first round results.
Yeah.
I'm looking at our predictions. So we both had Colorado winning. You had them sweeping. Congratulations on that. I forgot UC Saros wasn't playing. That totally fucked me over.
Yes.
Daryl Sutter said it best. It was a waste of an 8 days for the Nashville Predators. It was just completely different hockey between those two teams.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that Nashville could have done, and Nashville hung in games too because of their goaltending was playing on its head, but they're still just overpowered. Like, it's crazy.
Colorado is just another beast.
Yeah.
We already talked about St. Louis and Minnesota. We both had Minnesota winning. You had Minnesota in 7. I had Minnesota in 6. So half credit. I don't know. Then the last,
we didn't get it.
Yeah, the next series we both had LA in 7, and it was close. It was very close and
down to the wire.
Yeah, I mean McDavid just turned into McDavid again in that last game 7 and kind of just like took it over.
I think they were saying like there's a lot of like commentators just mentioning about how they're saying the best player probably in that series was like Philip Deneau. Like just how incredible he was, like being able to like participate offensively because he's not known to be an offensive type player, but he had a good season that way. Yeah. And then just him just shutting down McDavid like in some nights. It's hard to keep him off the scoreboard for fucking 7 games though.
I mean, he put up 14 points that series?
McDavid did?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, and that's like good defensive hockey against him. Like,
yeah, 14 points.
For a team that's not like super deep like LA or anything like that, like they made it because their division's super weak. But
I mean, he only had 10 assists, only 4 goals that series, but still.
Yeah. Well, they had a couple blowout nights, which is like that'll probably pad the stats for you.
The surprising thing I think in that series is Evander Kane was 7 goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And including the game win, or not the game winner, but the empty netter in game 6 to clinch to go into game 7. And he does the 7 Sully to the fans in LA. And I was like, God, why do you have to be such a fucking prick? Like, I would fucking love that if it was anybody but Evander Kane doing it.
I just love the fact that there's like the video of like an interview with him like after the game, and they're like, "Oh, you threw up to 7." We're like, "Was that for like 7 goals?" He's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, was that for like your 7th goal?" He's like, "No, game 7." And it's just like, I didn't even realize I had 7 goals. It's like, all right, well that works out.
And it was funny too that LA fans had pictures of his ex-wife. They were holding up like signs during the game too. So it was like a nice little back and forth between the fans and the player. Yeah, then the last series in the first round, which we both predicted right. We both said in 6 games, so we got that wrong. But it set up the Battle of Alberta. The Calgary Flames put away the Dallas Stars, who was scaring me a little bit. Like, I was not expecting Dallas to hang in as much as they did that series.
Yeah, man. And like just how we were talking about like the goaltending of the future for like the Wild and like the Predators with Askarov and Wallstead. Jake Ettinger, man.
Oh my
Holy
God.
it's just gonna be a fucking pain in the ass to be in this division, like going into the future. It's ridiculous.
We're gonna have to step up. Like they are gonna have to make some major moves to even compete in this division, and it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
He
Just like fingers crossed, like one of our goaltending prospects works out.
in 7 games he had a 1.81 goals against average and a 9.54 save percentage.
Jesus.
God. He brought down I mean his career in the playoffs in general. It's only 9 games.
Yeah, he only played 2 other games.
Yeah, 167 and a 9.56 save percentage. He's good, man. He is so good. And I think Dallas has got to be really relieved that all these goalies are coming off their books this year.
Yeah, pretty much. I think they still have Hudobin on.
Yeah, they Dobie for
And
one
then
more year.
he underwent surgery in March, but who knows if he's going to be coming back or if he's going to be like
I mean, he's like
LTIR, like Ben Bishop.
37, right?
Yeah, they traded for Scott Wedgwood over the trade deadline.
Was it a trade or was it waivers?
I'm
No, you're right. It
pretty
was
positive
a
it was a trade because it was with Arizona.
And I remember because they added him in on an assistant captain jersey on NHL. That's right. I remember that now. Okay.
Oh, weird. Yeah, man.
What?
Everybody in the division's getting like strong goaltending, like for the future. Like we're just sitting here, like I hope Comesso works out. Like,
right. What? So out of the Western Conference, did you have like a favorite series, or was there like a favorite like moment from the first round from the West?
No. Honestly, like I would have really liked it if LA won Game 7. Because I thought that would have been hilarious. But I do like the fact that like Calgary versus Edmonton should be a really fucking hardcore series. I would have loved the implosion of like fans in Canada if both of those teams lost though, and it was Dallas versus LA.
Yeah. God.
And that would have been just too fucking funny. I'm just looking forward to like the second round. Like we said, Battle of Alberta is gonna be really exciting. I think that's gonna be a fucking bloodbath.
Oh
And
God.
then Colorado versus St. Louis. And I mean Colorado is just a fucking wagon. So I think it's gonna be like my favorite thing. I think didn't they play each other last year and Colorado swept St. Louis?
Sounds right.
I can pull it up real quick.
But yeah, it's gonna be in the. You know what? I have been seeing people like St. Louis fans, like not like Homer, legitimately think that they have a chance against Colorado.
It was St. Louis and Colorado last year because they were in division and it was only top 4 in each division because it was still like COVID year. Right. And Colorado was 1, St. Louis was 4, and I'm almost positive that they got swept. Yeah, no, they did get swept because wasn't it like Bennington lost 4 games in a row and like
yeah, because it was like the most
losses in a row or something in the first round.
He had like 5 in the bubble and then 4. Yeah. Oh my
God. Hilarious.
Fuck. I just hope Bennington gets a start, and I just hope they just destroy him and he doesn't even make it out of game 1. Now we say this and he's gonna go and shut him out for 4 straight games, and
I don't think Colorado's even capable of getting like shut out. Like even if you get under like McKinnon's skin, you forget that McCarr's just dancing around behind him and he's just gonna fucking put it away.
Rantanen and Landeskog and the team is just so good.
That team's just really nasty.
This has got to be.
Nazem Kadri didn't get suspended yet, so what's happening?
That's this has got to be one of those years like for Colorado. Like this has got to be it. No. Or are they still? Are they? Pull their cap. Like, are they still kind of set up where if it doesn't work out this year, they?
I don't know where I forgot. Did McKinnon sign already? Because they got McCarr at like 9.5. Oh, McKinnon's deal's up next year, but Burakovsky and Kadri are done this season. Nikushkin, Lehkonen. Yeah, no, they have a lot of money coming off the books this year.
And it's a lot of guys that it just kind of doesn't really.
Josh Manson, Ryan Murray. Yeah, man. I don't know. Darcy Kemper's up at the end of the season.
Jack Johnson, how are they going to do it without
Like
him?
they're gonna have 24 million in cap space, so they still have like plenty of money to give it a go again next year with maybe some 1-year deals on some guys. But like I don't think they're going to be able to sign Kadri back. If you have to sign Kadri for like 7.5, let's say, because he had a monster season this year, he's going to get around 6.5 to 8 probably.
Unless you can convince him and be like, listen,
but you still got to save money for that McKinnon deal.
yeah, like listen, we're on the verge of something very special here. Especially, or if they win it this year,
yeah.
Well,
if they win it this year, he gets
all
paid
bets
like
are
crazy.
off. Yeah, but if it's like they go to the conference finals or they go to the Stanley Cup and they come short, and then it's like, listen, you see how special this team is and how close we are. Like,
or he fucking pulls a Marian Hossa and goes to the team that they lost to, and then he loses to Colorado in the finals of the next year.
That'd be hilarious.
But yeah, no, I mean they're set up to win this year, and I don't think they can. I don't know if they'd be set up any better next year unless like making some moves where they acquire guys on good deals on the last year of their deals from other teams, and just basically like go like fuck it for draft picks, fuck it for our prospects. Like we're going all in this year. But I mean, they're basically one of the best teams in the league this year. So like if you don't do it this year, like I think like next year you got to be like, fuck it, throw everything at it, we're getting it. Like, right? Like
I mean, they don't have a pick till round 3, and then they have 3, 5, 6, and 7. That's all they got. So I mean, they really can't go any more fuck it mode than what they're already in. So
for next year though,
for 2013, they have their first, their third, their 5th, 6th, 7.
See, they still have a first.
They don't have their second. They don't have a second for the next 3 drafts.
Yeah. Fuck them seconds.
And their third pick for 2024 is a conditional pick. Arizona receives a 2024 third round pick if Colorado wins the Stanley Cup this year, and Darcy Kemper plays in 50% of the playoff games. So they might have that pick. That's only
that one
weird. I would love, I think we said this before, but like I would love to be a fly in the room when they're like talking about the conditions on these picks.
I feel like
I want to know the process.
It's like a lot like a writer's room of like a sketch comedy show or something like that, where you're like, all right, let's start throwing ideas out there. It's like, all right, what if we go like 50% of games played? And he's like, all right, I like where that's going.
But you have to win the Stanley Cup on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday.
Yeah, right.
If you win
it has Tuesday, to be one of the home games.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? He has to lift the cup on home ice.
Darcy Kemper has to be within the top 5 of people to get the cup.
I feel like that's one of those kinds of things. Like the more specific you get, like the higher like the conditions can be. Like this 7th can turn into a first if all of these conditions are met. Like
God.
Like why not? Like you just get really specific with it.
You know what? I want to see somebody trade a conditional 7th round pick, and the more like you're saying, the higher the odds.
Yeah.
Boom, 6th round pick. Oh no, we got the 5th round tier. Let's go for. Oh man, we're
what if they put like
third
tiers into the conditionals? Like each time you meet one of the conditions, it moves up around in the draft.
So it's really you can get a 7th round pick, or you can get a 1st round pick, or you can get anything in between.
There's 7 tiers to the conditional, or 6, whatever.
Or you could take the mystery condition and potentially lose the pick altogether.
if none of them are met, or like you actually set it up so there's too many conditions. So it's like if all conditions are met, then it's eliminated. You have to hit 7 of 8 or some shit.
I think we just fixed NHL trade deadline.
Like, no, absolutely not. I would fucking hate that. That would be so dumb. But yeah, Colorado, man, they gotta win it.
All right, we'll do predictions in a little bit. So let's look at the Eastern Conference. We're gonna start with Pittsburgh, New York. We both took 7 games. You took New York. I took Pittsburgh, and to be fair, I only took Pittsburgh because I wanted to be different because we're going pretty much the same picks for the rest of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
But man, I was looking pretty good. Pittsburgh up 3-1 in that series, and
they were doing it without Tristan Jarry or Casey DeSmith, and game without Crosby, some games without Raquel, just not a full team, and just like, how does Pittsburgh do it?
They the New York Rangers also trailed in game. What was it all elimination games? So 6, 5,
Mhm.
6, 7,
Yeah.
and they came back and won each of one. They were down 2-0, 5 and 6, and they were down 3-2 in game 7 and came back. And Panarin, who's been kind of quiet this postseason, comes up with the big goal um, to win it, to send the New York Rangers to the second round, which that was a team like I know you said earlier, like they're your like kind of your sleeper team that could kind of can surprise a lot of guys if the right things happen.
Yeah.
But also watching them, I'm like, man, I just don't think they're ready for this.
No, I don't. Especially since you struggle against a team that's playing their third string goalie. Like,
Who is powered by spicy pork and vegetables? Like,
right. He comes into an overtime game and still like shuts the door on you. He's been sitting on the bench for over like fucking 3 hours.
that was not a great
Brutal.
series too. Like a lot of blowout games, a lot of 7-2, 7-3 games. It just wasn't entertaining.
Yeah, like Shesterkin, like what's happening, bud? But I mean, he played great in those last like few games.
Yeah, he probably shouldn't be waving goodbye to a team that he's about to play in the playoffs either. I
Yeah,
think
luckily I don't think he did that to what are they playing, Carolina?
they're playing Carolina. So yeah, Carolina was playing. Who did Carolina even play?
Carolina played
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah. That was what, 5? No, that was game 7 too.
7 games, yeah.
Yeah, we both said Carolina in 6. Um,
It was just home team wins in that series. That was it.
I'm just happy to see Boston go down. I mean,
Yeah.
you're kind of starting to I love the classic teams, and
Yes.
I think the game's better when the classic teams are playing, especially when you have guys like Crosby, Malkin, say what you will about Marchand, Pasta, all those guys. But seeing these teams that just haven't been around and are just getting good again, all that, it's good for the
Oh
game too,
yeah.
I think. Like I love seeing Carolina moving on. I love seeing New York moving on.
Like the new powerhouse teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that with the end of that series, Patrice Bergeron's contract's gonna be up, and I guess there's like questions on if he's gonna continue to play or not.
Yeah, I know they asked him if he was gonna would consider playing in Montreal, and he's like, no. He just said no.
That would be hilarious. I would love that.
Yeah,
Um,
he was caught hugging like all of his players as they're getting off the ice game 7. People are like, don't look too much into it. He does that every game. They're like, he hugs every single teammate as they get off the ice. They're like, it's just captain stuff. It's like, no, that's not what they do.
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play. Like, he's one of those things like I wouldn't, and I would be surprised if he like retires. I can see it. Like, what else does he have to prove? I mean,
Yeah.
but
Well, I think
also,
Boston loses a lot if he retires though
yeah,
too.
big time.
He's been on such a like a team friendly deal. He's been making less than 7 million. He's been nothing but a Selke Trophy winner. Literally the fucking Patrice Bergeron Trophy.
Yeah,
And
is
it's
it
just
when he
like
retires? Does it get renamed after him?
I mean I don't think they're into renaming trophies yet, but it's just it's
Under
crazy.
7 million,
He's
6.875.
also like only a few points away from 1,000. So I wonder if maybe he signs like one more contract and sees it and just tries to get to 1,000 points. He's 18 points away.
He's 36. So I mean he'll be
It's not
30,
that
he'll be
old, but he has
37.
played a
Yeah, so
lot of games.
he'll be 37 by the time next season starts. Like,
They're constantly in the playoffs. They usually make it past the first round. They've made it to the finals a few times. Like,
I don't see him. Yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't play again.
yeah. I think I don't
Played
know. Maybe
just
he's
over
just like, I'm
1,200.
fucking tired.
He played over 1,200 NHL games.
Well, plus all the Olympics too.
Yeah, 400 career goals, 582 career assists, 167 playoff games.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a
man.
lot of hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey fans, the pursuit for the Stanley Cup is on, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, has an unbelievable offer for the most exciting playoffs in sports. New customers can bet just $5 on any team to win and get $100 in free bets no matter what, win or lose. Looking to turn into a small bet into big play day during the playoffs? With DraftKings same game parlays, you can do just that. Create your own parlay by combining multiple bets like which team will win, how many goals will be scored, and more. It's your shot at an even bigger payout. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN. Bet $5 on any NHL team to win and get $100 in free bets no matter what. That's code THPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. It's just weird, too.
Their projected cap space right now, too, for next year is only $2.3 million. And that's with DeBrusk signing a new deal, which is surprising. Like literally going and asking for a trade and then signing a new 2-year deal. And it's like, it must be for when he gets traded at the deadline, still doesn't get traded.
And they said that they did it because so now when they try to move him this offseason, it's going to be more attractive because he's got term and all that.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I will be shocked if he's still on this team come next season.
You think it's an offseason move?
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a trade deadline type of thing.
Well, they also have 9.5 kicking in for Charlie McAvoy, and then also 6.5 kicking in for Hampus Lindholm. So there's like, even if they do drop that $4 million, they still have a lot to make up. They still have 2 point, it would be like 6.3. And I mean, Swayman's deal is up after next season too. If he's the goalie of the future, like I guess you're gonna have to move Linus Ullmark because he's making $5 million. I don't know. I'm sure that they can fucking pull some shit because they always, besides Charlie McAvoy, they sign guys for less than $7 million, and I don't understand how they can just do that.
I like some of these teams. I'm like, these GMs, like, do they know something the rest of people don't, like, about like the cap or something? Like,
I don't know if they're just calling players bluffs and just being like, this is the deal, take it or leave it. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna leave it. And it's like, all right, cool, go.
Yeah, it's just
because I mean, when you think about it, like they have traded out good players already too, like Tyler Seguin, Dougie Hamilton. Like they're not afraid to move guys that are young and like are questionable on whether or not they're going to sign like the deals that they want them to sign. You know, like maybe that's the thing. They're like, oh, if you don't sign this, we're going to fucking trade you. Like,
yeah. I don't know. It's
worked out for him so far. So
yeah, it's gonna be super interesting to see what happens there. But back to the main topic there. Carolina wins that series in 7. They will face the New York Rangers, which is gonna be an interesting series, I think.
Carolina, I think, has been a much better team in the playoffs than the Rangers have.
It's really funny too that it's like both conferences, they have the A series that everybody's gonna be talking about.
Yeah.
And then the other series is going to be kind of forgotten about because it doesn't have that appeal, that flair, the back.
It's not the battle for the region. It's not Battle of Alberta or Battle of Florida.
But you know what? They could surprise, and that's when those like good series surprises everyone, I think. I don't know if this series is going to really surprise anybody. Like, I
think the surprise for me of this series would be if the Rangers actually win it.
Yeah. I
think Carolina's they're really good, but I mean, they haven't won a game on the road yet in the playoffs, so who knows?
Yes, we'll see. Well, like I said before, we'll get in predictions in a little bit. We're gonna go to Florida and Washington first, just because the last series we kind of want to talk about a little bit. The Panthers win in 6. I took them in 6. You took them in 5.
I believed in them a little bit more.
Yeah, I was more realistic. They're still my Stanley Cup team. They are still my Stanley Cup team. And I was texting our buddy Rossi, and I was like, how is it that a team that I have no connection to and could care less, whatever, but I still feel like they're going to be the death of me watching them? The Blackhawks aren't in the playoffs. I don't have that playoff stress. Yet watching this team play and have to come back from big deficits against the Washington Capitals multiple times this series, it was insane. And it's very interesting to see where this team is at. And it's just kind of showing like why the postseason is a completely different beast than the regular season. And I think it shows like why the President's Trophy really doesn't mean much.
I just don't know why they're so comfortable like playing from behind. Like they went down in like at least the last 3 games of the series that they won. They were down in each game. And it's just like, guys, it's not how you're supposed to do it.
I even think the clinching game, they were down 3-0.
Yeah. Well, not in the
Or was that
game.
game
That was
5?
the game 5.
Okay.
The only game that they won that they led in was the first one that they ended up winning. But it's just like, what's going on? Like they're just really comfortable playing from behind for some reason.
They are, yeah, they're just, I don't know. And then it's like, too, it's like they realize that it's like Colorado, they still have time and money and all that kind of stuff. These guys kind of have to get going now a little bit. Like,
I mean, they showed that they hang in games. They're not out just because they're down by 1, 2, or 3 goals. But I think they also got the luck of the draw of the way that the playoffs are set up, because they did face probably like the worst goaltending that like was available besides like Nashville, and they kind of barely won those games. What was it? They didn't score a single power play goal in the first round.
Right. Yeah.
So like you got to figure that out.
That's not going to work as you get deeper in the playoffs. Like you have got to take advantage of those situations. But it's also kind of crazy that even though Quenneville hasn't been with that team since October, November, that like you could still see his like what?
I was looking at their salary cap. Then they have Max Domi on the retained salary in Florida.
Did they really help them out for that Carolina trade?
I think so.
That's weird. But
I'm just like, I don't remember that.
But okay, so what I was saying though, it's like they haven't had Quenneville with them since how long, but you could still see his system. Like Brunette has just kind of really like, okay, this is what Joel put in place. Yeah, it's worked for us. Let's go with it. Let's run with it.
Just keep rolling.
But yeah, so that was a series that, for being the top team in the league, I feel like that kind of series got looked past a little bit. And this last series is probably the one that everybody was watching. Unfortunately, they weren't watching for the right reasons. I think they were just watching for pure misery and just Eric Hartman licking up the tears from Leafs fans' eyes and face. And we both took Tampa Bay in 7 games. You said it best last year. Until they do it, we can't like prove it. I'm taking every team against Toronto until they prove it, and they didn't prove it.
It's the 5th year in a row of literally losing in the last possible game in the first round because of the COVID year where they only had a best of 5.
Yeah.
You can't say they always lose in game 7, but 5 years in a row, they go to the last game of the series and they lose. It's I don't know how long they can keep this streak up. But at some point they either make the second round or they miss the playoffs.
The fact that the last time the Toronto Maple Leafs won a playoff round, their goaltender was Ed Belfour.
Maybe they re-sign him.
That's bananas. Like that is absolutely insane. Like what does this team do?
Also the fact that like it wasn't Tampa's like big goal scorers, it was Nick Paul.
Yeah.
Nick Paul gets 2 goals against them. I mean, he's been a great pickup for him. It's too bad Ottawa didn't get 2 prospects and 2 first rounders for him, but I mean, somebody else had to.
Yeah, Nick Paul is doing better than Hagel. Hagel's kind of a no-show.
But it's all right. I still love him.
I still love him too. But I think it's hilarious.
Maybe they'll give him back to us.
I'd like to think that he's like, I'm doing this for you Blackhawk fans, and he's throwing.
He's throwing.
He's going to do his best to make those the best possible draft picks for us.
Honestly, like I'm hoping that, I mean, he can win the cup this year. It's fine. Like, that's not going to do anything for those draft picks that we have.
Yeah.
But like, I would like to see him raise it. He's been in the league for how long at this point?
Yeah, like he fucking needs it. Like Jumbo Joe, fuck that guy. Give Hagel the trophy.
Yeah, right.
But seriously, so talking about Toronto a little bit, like what's next for this team? Like where do they go at this point? Like,
well, I mean, I think this year just shows that that playoff setup is just awful because they didn't play terribly. It was a great first round for them, and they just got the worst pull out of any fucking team. I had like mentioned it to you guys, like if it was like normal, not normal, I guess it is normal at this point, this way this playoff format is.
the standard 1 through 8.
If it was the standard 1 through 8, but it was like, hey, let's say like the division leaders, no matter who they are, 1 and 2. Toronto's still third in that conference. They would have played Boston instead of the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Do they have a better chance? I think so. I would think so because Boston had questionable goaltending to start the series too. So I mean, that gives you like, who knows what they do at that point, but it's not Vasilevsky, and so you just have a better chance there.
Is there more of a like a demon facing Boston again in the first round?
Yeah, but I think that's the thing that you have to overcome if you're that team, you know.
That's
and then one of the other things that people have been saying is like doing just a 1 through 16, and if they did a 1 through 16, it would have been Toronto versus what, like I think the Capitals, because the Capitals were 13th and Toronto was 4th in the league. But if you go by that, Toronto was 4th in the league and Tampa was 8th in the league, and they faced off against each other. And that's just like, how is that a first round matchup when you have Edmonton at 11 in the league versus Los Angeles at 14th in the league? And it's just like,
it's a broken
brutal.
system.
That's
like,
brutal. The other thing I noticed too is like we had Minnesota and St. Louis Minnesota was at 5, St. Louis is at 9. And if you go through that 1 through 8 conference one too, let's say Minnesota would have been third because Calgary, they had more points than Calgary, but Calgary should have had second, let's say division leaders 1 and 2. Minnesota would have been third. They would have played LA instead.
And we would have a first round pick.
Maybe.
It just,
they would still have to win the second round.
Let's just call it what it is. The playoff format in the NHL is a broken system.
Yeah.
They want to try to create these rivalries within division. If you can't do that,
it benefits literally like the good team in the bad division, and it punishes the good teams in good divisions.
Yeah, like they're talking about this. Oh, it's going to create more division rivalry and all that kind of stuff. If you can't do that when you're facing each other 6 times in a regular season,
yeah,
like you're not going to get it. It's like, okay, I understand playoff hockey is a different beast, but I want to see the best teams playing the best teams farther down in the playoffs.
Yeah,
when it means more. Yeah,
I mean, it all means a lot, but I mean, when the teams have been playing some playoff hockey already, and like I love the actual more surprising series is like when like an actual 8 beats a 1.
Like when LA in 2012.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't want like 6 versus 7 because of the way the divisional playoff is going, or like what it would be like, let's say 5 versus 6. Like that's basically what fucking Edmonton and LA would have been.
Tampa Bay, Toronto.
Edmonton and LA literally would have been 5 versus 6, and that's a first round matchup. Like that's not something that should be fucking going on.
Tampa Bay versus Toronto, Tampa Bay versus Florida. Those should be conference finals games.
Yeah, that's second round and finals. Like it's so annoying. And like I always enjoyed when the Hawks had the playoff series against Vancouver. They're not division rivals. I think that like creating even more rivalries that way is fucking awesome.
Because then it goes on when you're facing these teams later next season for fewer games. What game are you circling? The team that you just beat the shit out of for 6 or 7 games. You want to see the bad blood carry over for see if it's still there from the last season.
Yeah.
I I don't understand. And they
Are they
even
trying to
came
keep
out,
rivalries just within the division?
yeah,
rather
and they
than
even
like,
came out and said that they see no reason to change anything.
ugh.
And it's garbage. Like they're throwing out like so much. The viewership is good. Like we'll talk about that too. Well, you know what? I'll bring it up real quick since we're talking about it. The viewership would go up so much more, I think, if you had more interesting matchups later on. Because you're getting to the point where you got like some teams that don't deserve to be in the conference finals, don't deserve to be in the Stanley Cup, and they had the easy path to get there. Like talk about when you faced the Kings and Blackhawks in 2014 when everybody was like, "Oh, yep, that was the Stanley Cup final right there."
Yeah. Like if those teams had been up earlier in the round, like that's ridiculous.
So
And what
Stanley
was it?
Cup,
Even if well, man, I don't know what LA was even coming in during those seasons. But I mean, it could have been a possibility. Like if it was this kind of playoff setup, if they were like a wild card team, and the Hawks were like also, or they were just within that, they would have been a round one or round two kind of, or I
right?
guess it would have been like a round. I don't know actually, but it could have been a round one or round two kind of matchup, and you're like, okay, one of the best teams just got eliminated before like the third round. Like that's fucking annoying.
Here's the stats real quick for round one on TNT TBS. TBS. They average about 812,000 viewers, which is up 60% versus 2021 and up 27% versus 2019. Female viewership's up 83% versus 2021 and up 49% versus 2019. Pittsburgh and the Rangers game 7 averaged 2.3 million, most in non-cup final games since 2018. Tampa Bay Toronto game 7 averaged 1.7 million. Those two are the most watched round one games of all time.
Oh wow, that's good. I like
People
it.
want to watch good hockey,
Yeah,
and you're going to give them good hockey in round one.
yeah. I I mean, it's
That's
there's more hockey available too. Like 4 games in a day for like almost 2 weeks. It was a great round one too. There's so many game sevens. I mean,
5 game 7s,
yeah,
or was it 6? No, it was 5.
five, five
Yeah,
out of the 8 series went to 7, and
which
it's
is
just like, man, that's
that's
great.
that's awesome. But yeah, so we kind of haven't really talked about like what do you think? So now Toronto again, 5 years in a row, eliminated the last game of the first round, haven't
Love
won
it.
since 2004. So what happens now?
I mean, unlike the other losses, this one I don't think feels the same for them.
They can keep their head up on this one.
Yeah, because like before, like I mean, the worst one was Columbus. Like how the fuck, like you were supposed to blow them out and you didn't. You lost in 5. And then what, Boston, those hurt. What
Just because
else?
of
Was there
Boston.
in Montreal? Oh, that was a bad one too. See, those are like the last, I think the last two, because it's Montreal and Columbus before this one, are just brutal meltdowns.
Yeah, but both
And
what?
then
Montreal, they were up
uh
3-1.
yeah. And then in the Columbus series, there was a game where they were down 3 goals and came back and won in like overtime. And then the next game they were up 3 goals and then lost it in overtime. Like it was just like, what kind of hockey are you playing here, bud? But then
They blew a
I
3-2
think
lead.
it
And
was the in the Boston series, it was game 7. They were just like no shows. But like this time during this whole game 7, this 7 game series, like their star players showed up. They scored big goals. They've led them to wins. And I mean, what are you gonna do? Like you got Vasilevsky on the other end, who has unbelievable fucking stats in the playoffs. What they're 17-0 after a loss. They're undefeated in fucking elimination games. He literally most of the time just gets a shutout. He
yeah,
got a goal.
this is the
So like,
first time like it was a clinching game that he didn't get a shutout in like
yeah,
5 or 6 game rounds.
I don't know, like, what do you think about like the Tavares like disallowed goal at all? But I mean, it was interference. Like, it's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
mean,
shitty
it
and
is what
like
it
a
is.
dumb.
Yeah.
They're a little nitpicky kind of call, but
I mean, it goes to like the
geez,
Pittsburgh and the Rangers series where Pittsburgh was pissed off about the whole helmet rule
yeah,
when
Pedersen.
Pedersen, lost his helmet, has to get off the ice, and because of that, it goes essentially a 5-on-4, and New York gets the goal.
Like, I don't. That's just a weird rule. Just like they don't play without a bucket.
It's a player safety. It's their player safety thing. Like, players play so often without helmets that they get hurt, concussions from it. I don't know. It's dumb, but it's like little nitpicky stuff like that. But I mean, usually we joke like, okay, well, the next thing to do is okay, new goalie, try it again. That might be the thing here.
Jack Campbell didn't even play bad.
No, and he didn't. But like, I don't think Jack Campbell is that guy.
Ooh, I hope they give up on him and then we can take him. I don't think that's the deal. I think the deal will end up being we get Mrazek instead, and like whatever picks they have left over. That's probably not a first.
I think this team is built right finally, and they have the right combination. It's just that one bounce.
That they need that lucky bounce.
Yeah,
and
they need that.
I mean, Marner, his unluckiness continued after the game 7. He got carjacked
At gunpoint and knife point
by 3 people.
And
I've seen some posts online that were just like, man, can you imagine if they recognized him and they were just like, give me your card and an autograph.
Like, give me your
if they're wearing a Marner jersey when they're fucking like carjacking them too, it's like
they're wearing that black like Justin Bieber Toronto jersey too.
The reversible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when we went to the Hawks game, the last game against Vegas, a guy in front of us had that jersey on and he had it reversed. So the Drew side was out. It was so stupid. Just I wanted to pull the fight strap every time he got up. Like, it was so dumb. But yeah, I mean, Noli gets pissed at me when I say this because I'm a Leafs. I consider myself a Leaf fan, but
yeah, it's like it's not one of my Eastern Conference teams.
Yeah, but the fact that they're not like my team, like I do get enjoyment out of them losing in the first round just because it's entertaining. It is funny to me. And this one I just didn't get the same like, oh my God, out of this. I felt at first I was like,
because it wasn't pathetic.
Right. The first when it first happened, I had that like, oh shit, here we go again feeling. But then I'm like looking at it and I'm like, it's not the same. This was a hard fought series between against the defending Stanley Cup champions. Like, yeah, I think Leaf fans need to not be as hard on their team as they have in past, because this is a different experience, and I truly think they get over the hump next year, and then they have to face the second round beast.
I mean, until they do it, I'm not going to think that they can make it past Game 7 in the first round. So,
I'm still not going to pick them.
They can be a fucking President's Trophy winning team next year. I do not give a shit. They will not make it past Game 7.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not predicting them to get past it until they do it. I think that they will. I think they could, but I'm not going to put money on it. Like, I'm still going against them in like the betting part of it, but
trade away Austin Matthews to Arizona for
first round pick,
Chychrun and Nick Schmaltz, and
they already had the first round pick. Never mind. I thought turn Shane Wright for Austin Matthews. Basically, that's if they got the first overall, but I don't know. So, all right. So, second round matchups, they are starting right now. As we're recording, Florida versus Tampa is playing, and it is Tampa up 2-1 halfway through the third. Holy shit.
Florida's got them right where they want them when Florida being down.
down. So we'll start right there. So who do you like in this series?
Oh man. I think I would go with, I'd made a couple brackets, and each one is different with who wins this series. But I feel like with the way the first round went, you kind of just got to go Tampa. Like, Tampa had I mean, I don't know, like, Florida struggling and not scoring a power play goal against Washington, I don't think is going to be a good look against Tampa. So I think Tampa Bay ends up taking this one.
How many games?
7.
7.
Yeah.
I agree with you, and I want to go Tampa, but I've been on Florida's bandwagon since the beginning of the season. They've been my pick the entire way, so I got to stick with them. So I'm taking Florida in 7.
It'd be real hard to win more games when you don't score a power play goal.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And I hate myself for it. I really do. I hate this pick, but I got to stick with them.
Also, Claude Giroux has been playing great in the playoffs.
He's
for
been a great pickup right now
Mhm.
for them. All right, New York and Carolina. I'm taking Carolina in 6. I think New York is a good team. They are going to gain a lot more, I think, from this series and an understanding of where they need to go next year and what it's going to take for them to get to the next level. I just think that they're just not there yet. So that's why I think Carolina is an all around good team. So yeah, I'm taking Carolina in 6.
I think Carolina will win, but I'll do like I'll take the Rangers and I think 7. Like it.
Rangers in
Well,
7.
it's
All
weird
right.
because I feel like I can take like this is where I'm going, like either Rangers in 7 or Carolina in 5. Like
Yeah.
like that's the feeling I get. I feel like they're gonna be pretty close games. I I don't know. What is Freddie Anderson coming back anytime soon?
That's what I was too. I don't know. If Freddie Anderson's back, I think it's Carolina in 5.
Yeah. I mean,
I if with Antti Ratna, it gets pushed back a couple games, but I still think Carolina has it. But I also like I said, like I wouldn't be shocked at all if New York surprises and takes this one. Like this is one
right?
that it doesn't. I'm the teams I'm sold in on the Eastern Conference are playing each other right now. Tampa Bay and Florida. Those are the 2 teams that I think you're gonna have to get through. It's a coin flip for the other ones.
It says as of right now, Freddie Anderson is not available. Um, he said asked reporters to not ask about the Danish goalie until he takes the ice with the team for practice. So like
Oh, he's not even practicing.
Yeah, that's the toss up for me. Like, does Shesterkin continue the early series against Pittsburgh where he let up 7-ish?
Yeah.
So he got pulled a couple games too. Or is he going to be more rock solid? Because I mean, they need him to be basically a stone wall.
Ronta's back, right? Because I know he was
Ronta's
hurt.
back, yeah.
Yeah.
Ronta finished the series for
Okay.
Carolina,
Yeah.
and while I think Ronta's like a solid goalie, I don't think he's like a Stanley Cup winning goalie too. So that's why I think that
I don't know.
Freddie Anderson, I don't know, like he had a great season, but we've seen him basically melt down, kind of be left out to dry in Toronto over the last couple of years too.
There's so many questions in this series that it literally you could flip a coin and it could fall whatever way you'd be like, oh no, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, Western Conference. Let's go Colorado, St. Louis. Just because I hate St. Louis, Colorado in 4.
Yeah. I would probably Colorado. I'll take Colorado in 5. Man, Colorado's just they've been sitting for a minute. I don't know. I don't think their feet are going to be any cold because you got McKinnon pretty much leading that team, and he's literally fucking furious with the playoffs, and he's been pissed at the NHL this entire year.
Do you think too, like Colorado's got the best situation? Because I kind of feel like I don't know if it's just because they swept and they haven't played in a while, but I kind of feel like nobody's talking about like the Western Conference. Like I feel like everybody when they're talking about Stanley Cup and all that, they're talking Eastern Conference teams.
Yeah.
So like they have that perfect like under the radar, just get in there and then just fuck shit up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
They're just gonna go on fuck shit up mode.
All right, and then the last Battle of Alberta, Edmonton, Calgary. I'll let you go first because I am
Calgary in 4.
no shit. Okay.
Yeah, Edmonton went to Game 7 against LA. LA doesn't have the shit that Calgary has. I mean, like the best goaltending series was Calgary versus Dallas, hands down. Like
Yeah.
both goalies had less than a 2.0 goals against average. They're both sitting close to like 9.5 save percentage. And then you go to Edmonton and Mike Smith was playing great. against
He like
LA
somehow he's like top 5 in save percentage in playoff history.
in playoff
Or no,
history.
maybe it's like the last like maybe it was like the last like 10 seasons or something. Like whatever the stat was, they listed him at like top 5. Like I don't understand it.
Doesn't make any sense.
Um, I'm taking Calgary in 5 just because I think McDavid is gonna steal a game.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think game 3 they'll go down 3-0 and McDavid's just gonna do McJesus shit and win game 4 on his own. And I think that's all. Then he's gonna just be out after that. So yeah, I'm taking Calgary in 5.
Yeah, no, Calgary in 4.
All right. And
You go
speaking of,
from also you just go from playing Quick, who like had some great games, but you get Jake Markstrom, who's 9.43, 1.53 goals against average, like a team that has just a much deeper team to like.
theoretically should have would win the Vezina Trophy if Shesterkin didn't have the year that he did.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
That's like it's gonna be like, are you fucking kidding me? Like Markstrom's numbers like season wasn't good enough for Vezina this year. Like that just shows you what he did in New York was just fucking ridiculous.
Also, it wasn't even. It's probably not even a question who wins the Vezina, which is also kind of ridiculous. You're just like,
Yeah.
damn.
So that's who we got, and then because we put up a poll because the Blackhawks are out and we have not much to talk about the Blackhawks. We're gonna do like a little bit more coverage on one series, and we left that up to you guys. And you guys picked the Battle of Alberta for us to do a little bit more coverage. So next episode we'll talk a little bit more about that series. And I just like to say screw you all for picking the games that end up the super late on every game. So screw you guys.
I'm just realizing I don't know if I like it or if I hate the fact that they staggered the like Battle of Florida and Battle of Alberta, or if I would have liked it better if they were on the same day. But I think because those are probably the two most look forward to series to watch, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I guess you got to put, because you're going to be like, oh my God, what fuck? This is crazy.
I think the Eastern Conference is on TNT and the Western Conference is on ESPN.
No, because today is TNT for both games.
Okay.
It's Colorado St. Louis later tonight. And then tomorrow is ESPN when this goes live.
Okay. Never mind then.
Okay. Oh my God. They just scored a power play goal.
Let's go. Was it Duclair too?
Yeah.
Let's go. Good for that guy, man.
Unless there's a whistle. But I mean, like I said, Florida had them right where they.
They're looking for something. They're looking.
It's questionable. We'll see.
Yeah, Vasilevsky looked right to the bench after that happened, but I don't know, man. Maybe it's too late to say Florida in 4. No.
No.
What are they?
Oh, I think they were questioning if he interfered. I don't know. Whatever. Everybody will know by the time.
All right. Sorry. Playoff hockey, guys. You're going to have to get used to this for the next few episodes. So,
yeah.
All right. We'll wrap this up really quick here. Quick
little things.
Quick little notes.
Oh, puck went out. Sorry. Puck went on a play.
Oh, okay. So take away the power play goal. Oh, Cooper's pissed.
Yeah.
Which is weird because he never shows emotion.
I love it. Okay. Quick little things.
Barry Trotz is interviewing with the Winnipeg Jets.
Yep.
Which
DeBoer out in Vegas.
So 3 coaches in 6 seasons for the Vegas Golden Knights. A big fuck you to that organization for just legitimately whoever's running that is just playing NHL 22 and just picking up all the salary and making the coaching changes as much as possible. I hope that team doesn't make the playoffs again for the long time.
They should have 0 Blackberries by the trade deadline.
And the last thing that was announced today, the Selke nominees, Bergeron, Barkov, and Lindholm.
Yep. Elias Lindholm. That's the other thing too when you're talking about Battle of Alberta. You got Elias Lindholm probably going up against Connor McDavid, Selke fucking nominee.
Yeah, so
that's the kind of guy you want playing in that matchup, you know.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else, Tanner?
No.
Okay, so this was episode 177. Tanner, do you know what I'm about to ask you?
Nope.
What do we call this episode?
A tale as old as time. Toronto out in 7.
Yes.
I wish it might be too long. Oh.
No, I think I'll figure a way to make that work. I like that. I like that a lot. They just called no goal.
Yeah, there you go.
This little kid throwing his hands up. He doesn't know what's going on.
He's
Whatever.
palms up. He doesn't understand the rules. It's Florida hockey, baby.
All right, so episode 177. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow us on social media at WCB Podcast. Like us on Facebook, the Windy City Benders Podcast. Follow the big guys, the Hockey Podcast Network, at HockeyPodNet on Twitter and on Instagram. Promo code THPN on DraftKings, exclusive offers. And yeah.
All right. All good?
All good.
All right. Love you, boys. Bye.